Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Edwin the Comic Jabroni, and welcome back. This is episode 1 of season 2 of Arcs and Minis. So, stay tuned, and we'll be talking about a story arc or miniseries that you should be on the lookout for. Alright guys, so welcome back. Like I said, I'm Edwin the Comic Jabroni, and this is episode 1, season 2 of Arcs and Minis. This series is a series where I go over and review a story arc or miniseries that ranges between 3 and 6 issues long. So what's on the docket for today? Well, we're going over Hellboy, guys. More importantly, the story arc called The Wolves of St. August. Now you can find that in this Dark Horse Presents issue number 88, ranging all the way to issue number 91. I must say myself that this is the first Hellboy story that I've ever read in comics. The only other Hellboy that I've ever seen or watched or read was from that first and the second movie that came out about 10 to 15 years ago, guys. So I gotta say I was impressed with the read. Let me go ahead and show off the covers. Here is, like I said, Dark Horse Presents number 88. Dark Horse Presents number 89. My favorite out of the covers, this is Dark Horse Presents number 90. And there's Dark Horse Presents number 91, guys. So, what is Dark Horse Presents, right? These came out in August to November of 1994. I'm going to read it off to you really fast. Dark Horse Presents was an anthology title published by Dark Horse, obviously, right? So, the title ran for 157 issues, with a number of specials and annuals between July of 86 and September of 2000. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the cover number 1 out there for you. Dark Horse Presents number 89. So, this story for Hellboy is written and illustrated by Mike Mignola. A lot of you guys are going to know Mike Mignola. I know Comic Tom especially loves himself some Mike Mignola, and he loves himself some Hellboy. Mike Mignola, you'll know, he is obviously the creator of Hellboy, but he's done a number of other works for Marvel and DC. As far as DC goes, because that's my bread and butter, he did a lot of the covers for that Batman Death in the Family, and he also did the cover, I believe, and he helped write Gotham by Gaslight, which was the first ever DC Elseworlds title to ever come out. So, as far as this goes, it's got to be, really up there as far as independents go. For my read, I really enjoyed it, but let's get into it a little bit more. Each issue in this contains 8 story pages, black and white, that are part of this story, right? It's a 4-part story. On top of that, in November of 1995, the story was collected into a 48-page prestige format, right? Like I said, there's 8 pages in each one of these that are for the Hellboy story. So that's only, 32 pages. So where the other 48 come in, there's an extra 8 pages that they add to the story in this 48-page prestige format. Plus they add color. This story right here is only in black and white, which, I really dug. I like the black and white. Sometimes I'm for it, sometimes I'm against it. Walking Dead, for instance, is a black and white story, and there's some issues where I really like it, there's some issues where I don't. In this one, I gotta say that the black and white really makes you look deeper into the story and look deeper into the artwork that you're reading about. Really enjoyed that part, guys. So, let's get into the story. So the story goes like this. There's this town of Greeart that there is a new priest by the name of Father Kelly who's come into town to give mass. Well, that evening, Father Kelly and everybody that's a local to this town, everybody in the town gets killed, and it looks like they're killed by a creature or an animal, a wild animal. So 9 days later, Hellboy and Kate Corrigan, who her first appearance is going to be in that issue 88 of Dark Horse Presents, they are part of the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense, BPRD, right? So they come in to investigate, find out what's going on, and they find out that there's more to the story than is being told to them. That the town of Greeart wasn't always named Greeart. It had a different name because back in the past, there used to be a royal family who were cursed and could turn into werewolves. Well, the town found out about it, and they end up killing this royal family, but the son survives, the son William, okay? So I don't want to give any more than that. There is some great action. The story is really good. It's the first time I've ever read a Hellboy story, and it makes me want to go and read more about this Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense. I want to know what more have they done as far as this paranormal activities go. Like I said, Kate Corrigan, her first appearance is going to be in this issue, as well as a Dr. Izar Hoffman gets mentioned. So this is his first mentioned appearance, okay? Not an appearance at all. You don't see him, but he gets mentioned. So his first appearance is in here. So as far as the story goes, guys, I got to give the story a 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Being my first Hellboy read, I dug it, guys. Let's get into the artwork. All right, so the artwork, like I said, it is in black and white. It was drawn by Mike Mignola. Mike Mignola can be sort of an acquired taste. It's not for everybody. I gotta say, I really like it. Being black and white, there's a lot of dark areas. The fight scenes are really incredible. Like I always do for these arcs and minis, guys, I'm going to be posting up pictures of the artwork and different things. It's a really dark story. Even though some of this is happening during the day, you really can't tell the difference. But it doesn't matter because it just gives so much more to the story. Mike Mignola's line work is incredible, guys. You could see just every different detail and feature of Hellboy in this old town, and when the werewolf finally shows up. Another thing I got to say about the artwork too, Hellboy, I'm not sure because this is my first time reading a Hellboy, but he has a gun, which I remember from the movies. He had this huge gun. And it looks like this might be the first time he uses a gun, or he has a gun in a story. So it's just cool to see that artwork, Mike Mignola drawing this huge pistol-looking thing, that Hellboy's carrying. So as far as artwork goes, black and white, I can't give it a high grade because I like to see color, but I dug it. I dug the black and white. I got to give it 3 out of 5 stars. I'm just going to go right down the middle on that. 3 out of 5 stars. Some people are going to give it more because they absolutely like Mike Mignola. Some people will probably give it less because they just want to see color. For one, I dig color on my comic books, but when there isn't color, I really look at it for more than than what the colors can give me. I dug it, guys. 3 out of 5 stars. All right, last but not least, let's get into that spec value of this book. All right, there is a little bit of spec to be had. Like I said, there's a first appearance of Kate Corrigan, who ends up being a major role in more Hellboy and BPRD comics, down the line from this. Like I said, Dr. Izar Hoffman, he is mentioned in this, and he becomes a really big player later on. His actual first appearance, where you actually see him, is going to be in BPRD, the Ectoplasmic Man. So if you can, go out there and find that issue. These aren't too hard to find. I was actually able to go on my comic shop, and they had all 4 issues, and they ranged anywhere between $6 and $8. The only thing is that there is that 48-page prestige format book that you can get this whole, kind of like a trade, right? You can get the whole story in, and you don't have to mess around with the other stories, because if you look at these, you'll see that there are other stories in this. So maybe that's more of your thing. You want to read as much Dark Horse as you can. These are going to be perfect for you because on top of a Hellboy story, you get 2 other stories in each one of these comics. And I know that there's one story in particular that runs through these as well. So by buying all 4 of these, you're getting 2 story arcs or miniseries, as I like to say. So as far as spec value goes, 2.5 out of 5 stars. They're not too expensive, but you get first appearances. You never know. I don't believe Kate Corrigan has shown up in a Hellboy movie. And seeing that the Hellboy movie that came out in February didn't do so hot, we might not see another Hellboy movie for a long time, guys. Let me know. I didn't see the movie. How did you think the movie did? How well was it? Do you wish they would have done better? So, guys, that wraps up episode 1, season 2 of Arcs and Minis. Today we went over The Wolves of St. August. It's a Hellboy story, really good story. I gotta say that I recommend it. If you've never read a Hellboy story, definitely go out, find this story. It's really good, And remember to stay tuned after the credits, and I will show you what's coming on for the next time Arcs and Minis comes around. So until next time, guys, I'm Edwin the Comic Jabroni. Peace. When young Selena Kyle is assaulted by a criminal associate, she learns how to defend herself. And she learns that murder comes easy to her. She learns that she is destined to be the Catwoman. The events that reshape the life of Selena Kyle and her criminal alter ego, the Catwoman, are told here in shocking detail. Find out more on the next episode of Arcs and Minis.